Hello and welcome to Get Into Games on Air, a podcast about board games and the people who play them. My name is Craig, and I am here this week, actually joined by Rebecca after a week off last week. Shocking.
Who were you talking to then?
I
think we established I was actually there last week. You just forgot to mention me.
Interesting. You can't prove a thing. It's not like this is recorded and saved on the internet for everyone.
No. Anyway, I am here. I wonder if one day you're not going to be Craig. Hello and welcome to Get Into Games on Air. And I'm Steve.
Yep, I'm Steve. Hello, welcome to Get Into Games on Air, a podcast about board games and the people who play them. My name is Steve, and joining me as always, or joining me for the first time, is Rebecca.
Hi.
In today's episode, Get Into Games on Air, episode 46, Stuff and Things. It was a good episode.
My fluff and stuff is happier now.
Episode 46, My Fluff and Stuff is Happier Now. We are going to talk about what's hit our table, our recent fun games day we had. We're going to talk about lots of things. And we've also got a very special super guest. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. So what's happened? What's been happening? What we done? Anything good?
I think we always say we've had a busy few weeks.
Okay,
I think
we've not had a busy few weeks. We've done nothing.
No, but I think our jobs are quite busy at the minute. I feel like we're crawling to the Easter holidays where we will be able to play more games. I did feel like revitalised after Aircon, but I'm kind of in that slump again now where it's like real life sets back in. Yeah. And I'm like, I do want to play a game, but I'm a bit tired.
Yeah, as of recording, there's another convention going down in Worthing, which is down on the south coast, which unfortunately is just a bit too far for us to attend. I'd love to attend, but...
I think we need to do better planning. I think we need to look at all the conventions and then work out how we can do little weekends away.
Yeah, but they're all in the same sort of time, aren't they? So it's
like
sort
weddings.
It's difficult. They're all around now. So,
but we did have our own little, let's say, convention where we invited.
Do you mean we just had friends over to play board games? Yeah, we're going to call that a convention now.
There's an extension.
A convention extension.
There was a convention extension.
That's the episode title, convention extension.
We invited Mashy Meeples and her daughter over, and then our lovely neighbours from just a door away, Neurodicey.
That's how neighbours work. They're like a door away.
Yeah. They came over to play some games, and it was great. And many laughs and hilarities ensued.
We did have some laughs.
Shall we talk about what we played?
We should talk about but I thought that's what's... we're not going to talk about what we've played. We're going to talk about what's hit our table, because we're cool, we're fresh, we're...
hip happening.
We are so cool, we are like practically refrigerated.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
That's so cool.
So we played some Rebirth. Now... I think Rebirth is definitely one of the games of the year. When we look back, now I don't think at the top of the stats, if I statted all of the games we played, which I don't, I don't think Blood on the Clock Tower is going to be the top anymore, because we've not been playing Blood on the Clock Tower.
We've actually not played a single game online this year.
We played at Molly. We played at
BB40 Con, so we played one game this year.
Yes. Anyway, so we've not been playing that as much, but I feel like Rebirth is one of those games that when we look back on 2025, that will be a game that has got to the table quite a lot. Yeah. It's really fun.
It's just a perfect after-work game, perfect entry game. It's just a perfect game.
There's, quite a lot of strategy about where you lay out your tiles, and you can be quite strategic about taking people's castles, and it's all about area control, but it's easy to teach.
Yeah.
It's easy to set up. and it's quick to play, and
Yeah.
everyone seems to enjoy it. Like, I haven't played a game where anybody's like got annoyed or wound up by it. It looks beautiful on the table.
Yeah.
It sort of ticks all the boxes. So we played a game of that. You won.
It's going to be between that and Fromage as to what gets played the most, because they're just so just to the table games.
We played Abduction.
Yes.
Which doesn't come out as much as
it should.
It should.
But it's brilliant.
But I think that Ruth from Mashy Meeples really liked the ducks.
Yeah.
Didn't realise there were little ducks in the game. And her face when you get the spaceship out, and she was like, "Oh, the ducks!" Yeah. So it was very cool.
It's a great little game. It's such a nice little puzzle, and it has got those shifting stones, that festival, that kind of puzzle nature to it. I like it. It's good.
Ooh. We played a new game to us, which was Muffin Time.
Muffin Time.
We have watched.
Noel's Bard played it.
Bard played it, and I've always been interested in it. Apparently, it's such a favourite in the Neurodicey household that they had to buy a second copy because their first copy had been used so much. But it's kind of got that Starflux.
Yeah, it's just pure stupidity in a game, and it is the kind of take that I love. It's just not serious, completely dumb.
It's also not at anybody.
No, it's just dumb. Yeah. It's just dumb fun, and that's what you want sometimes. You just want to be able to have a laugh, and it's just dumb fun.
There's a card in there that basically resets the whole game. Yep. So you could have been playing it for an hour. The idea is that you're trying to get 10 cards in your hand, but various cards stop you from doing that. But essentially, you could be one card away from winning the game, or even so you have to have 10 cards, and a whole round has to go by, and you still have to have the 10 cards.
Yeah.
That could happen, and then at the last minute, someone plays the card that resets the whole game, and you have to start again.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's crazy.
There's just it's so good. It's such a great little party game, and one I would highly recommend if that is on people's agenda of what they want. It's brilliant, fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great party game. And then Ruth had bought Cockroach Salad, which is in the Cockroach Poker line. Do you want to explain a bit about that?
Yeah, Cockroach Salad is very similar to the whole "that's not a hat, that's not a hat" kind of thing. Essentially, you're going to be playing cards down, and you'll be saying what they are, whether they're tomatoes. But then, if you play another tomato on top of a tomato, as an example, you have to call it something else. So you have to play that tomato and say lettuce. So that tomato is now being played as said lettuce. But then, if you play a lettuce on top of that card that's a tomato, because you called that tomato a lettuce, that's actually a lettuce. So when you play that lettuce card, you have to say cauliflower. And then if you play a cauliflower on that, you can't say cauliflower. You have to say other things. So it's just a brain burning, it's a race to get rid of all your cards. It's so good.
I don't know why, and maybe there was like a reason why they chose lettuce and cauliflower. But the lettuce and the cauliflower look very similar. They could have gone for carrots. They could have gone for anything else. But I think they wanted people to trip up on the lettuce, cauliflower.
Yeah, the lettuce and the leaves, and then the cauliflower just obviously has the white head bit. But the lettuce, they look so similar. It's a bit of a nightmare.
And then these extra bonus cards come out, which say you can't say tomato at all.
Yeah.
So if a tomato comes up, you have to say something different. And I am really rubbish at that game.
Yeah, it's really good. It's good. It has that exactly like that's not a hat. It's just the same kind of. My brain doesn't work. So
for Dale from Neurodicey, he was able to win that game, but I think it was because myself and Midge were so bad at that game that he was stuck in the middle between me being bad and her being bad.
Yeah,
and it was just.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was chaos. Then we played Cockroach Poker, because why not? When you played Cockroach Salad, you might as well play Cockroach Poker.
Yeah, Cockroach is great. Just, it's a standard.
Yeah. And then Chai came out.
We did play Chai.
We played Chai. Beautiful, beautiful Chai. And we showed up all the cards and the lovely components in Chai. And I think everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think so. Chai's great. Chai is a very nice game.
Chai plays better, I think, at higher player counts.
It's fine at lower play. It works at lower player counts, but it's just nicer when you've got more different teas that you can make, and it really refreshes that middle market.
So that was what we did on our little games day. It was good. Everyone stayed late, and the kids all had fun with each other as well.
Oh, we did play one more game.
Oh,
we played Red Dragon Inn.
Oh, we did. I didn't put that on there.
You didn't put it on there. It's good. Do you know why you didn't put it on there? Because it's garbage.
No, okay.
It's a garbage game.
Right.
It's definitely a garbage game, everyone.
No, it's not. Red Dragon Inn is
garbage.
Can I talk?
Yeah, I can interrupt you, but you can talk.
So, essentially, you are given a character and a set of cards. And in the game, you can take an action. And then once you've taken an action, you can pick up a card, I think, or take an action. And then you essentially take a drink yourself. So the theme is that you're at a bar having a drink with friends. You have got scoring counters, which is your health and how much alcohol you are consuming. If those ever cross over each other, then you're out of the game. Mm-hmm. So you have to take a drink on your turn after you've done any actions that you want to do, and then you have to give a drink to somebody else, which they will uncover at another time. I got into character. Mm-hmm. I was the troll, I think.
Yes.
And all of the cards have kind of what the character would say at the top, and then the action information at the bottom. So I was just saying, acting as the troll and saying, "Get me another drink." Well, that's really bad.
That was not a troll.
What was it?
You were like, "Grog hungry, grog thirsty,
yes.
grog make drink."
Yeah, I was doing that.
Very good.
And it was very fun.
It was a very good performance. I was proud.
You can give people extra drinks. You can. There's a gambling element in which you put some money in. You're able to collect money.
You can gamble as long as you get the card that says you can start gambling.
Yeah.
And you're the luck of how you've shuffled the deck and put them on your board doesn't mean that those cards are specifically at the bottom of the deck. So that's never going to happen to you.
Anyway,
for you.
I found it very enjoyable. It was a kind of tongue-in-cheek. I imagine the sort of game that you could play while you were having a drink, and it would be a laugh. Craig, on the other hand, did not find it very funny at all.
No, it's because it's garbage.
I think he had a character that he didn't understand. So I did
understand. I understand.
What did my character do particularly? Just give people more drinks.
The guy was good. It was a troll. It makes sense. You can handle your drink, and you can drink more, and you can
Your character essentially was
he was basically good for gambling and getting the money, because if everyone runs out of money, so he essentially was useful for gambling in a way, but he wasn't.
But your
But the cards to start the gambling were, when I shuffled the deck, they were in the bottom. They were literally the bottom 4 cards of my deck had the 2. So the luck element of that meant that I couldn't play to the strengths of the character.
Yeah, I don't think you were necessarily aware of the strengths of the character before you started playing. I think that may have helped if you had known what your character was trying to achieve throughout the game. I think a second playthrough with a different character, you may have had a different opinion of.
Yeah.
There are many different Red Dragons.
I feel like it sits in the smash up and villainous section of board gaming, as in,
like, it's all right.
They're serviceable, they're a game, but by God, it's a long one. Because
it's long if you don't understand what your character's supposed to be doing.
just long. Like, Muffin Time can be long, but it's always really stupid. But I feel like Muffin Time, if Muffin Time went any longer than it did, I think it was like, okay, this has been fun, let's throw in the towel. But it's still hilarious, and I think it would end and it would just be silly. Whereas this doesn't feel silly. This feels... If you haven't got the right cards, and you can discard cards to draw more cards, but... that seems broken. I'll just keep discarding until I get the ones I want to do, and then I'll play what I want to do.
I think it's not a serious game.
No, it's not serious.
I think it's meant to be taken in jest, and it's just silly fun.
I agree, but I also don't think it's that funny. Like, I can imagine...
I had loads of fun.
I think if you can get into the character side of things, it's like Hit the Silk, getting into well into the character, the game that lives and dies by who's playing it.
I think if you had been my character, you would have got into it and you would have been doing the same as me.
Possibly.
So I think maybe the lesson is...
I was a bard. I was going to go upstairs and get the ukulele.
Play as a different character, but apparently...
Or just with someone else, not me.
There are loads of different versions, so that means there's loads of different characters. So I imagine there is one character that you would like.
There's loads of different smash-ups as well, but it's still objectively a trash game.
Okay.
And Villainous. Have you seen how many Villainesses
I've seen how many people like Villainous.
I know.
I don't agree with you.
I can count them on one toe.
Anyway, so that was Games Day. Other than that, we've been playing some more Fromage. We've been trying out the Athena expansion of Acropolis, which I still don't see it the way you see it. You see where you need to basically, Craig had got all three objectives and essentially like one a
couple of turns
foul swoop, like, I can do this and I can do this and I can do this, and I was like, I'm still trying to work out how to do the first puzzle.
So the Athena expansion essentially gives you you're trying to build the statue of Athena. If you build the statue of Athena, any stones that you have left over that you get from the quarry to help buy other tiles score you 5 points instead of 1. So it's really helpful to build Athena. But to build her, there's you're shuffling a deck of cards, and you'll pick 4 random choices, and you put them underneath each card. Then you have to fulfill those objectives to get Athena. What I really like is that, and I think it helps because I'm generally terrible at playing Acropolis, but with Athena, with 4 objectives, it actually gives you a direction of how to play the game, and actually a way to work what you're working towards. So it gives you a goal rather than just, I'm going to hope for the best with these tiles and see what I can get. It actually gives you some structure, a foundation to how to play the game, which I think makes it an essential expansion.
We have also played some Vienna Connection.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So you're in the Cold War, you're a spy, you're trying to work out what's going on, and trying to work out what's going on is quite difficult sometimes.
Very difficult.
But I really like the way it's set up. So you do have quite a lot of agency over which cards and things you go and look at, and which files you look at. Don't think necessarily we chose the right things to look at.
No,
but that's like a learning experience. But the way it's organised is quite interesting.
Teachable moment.
Looking forward to doing that again.
Yeah, it's really nice. I really like the production of value and stuff of it. It's just a lovely game, and it's one of the ones we got for Aircon for like £10. So, worst case scenario, we finish it. If we love it or we don't, because I'm a bit middling of it. I don't think it's the best one of these kind of games I've ever played or taken part in, but I think these are more your type of games than mine anyway. I'm along for the ride. I'm the muscle. I
think you also have to maybe understand the historical time period a bit.
Yeah, it's true. I can just see Dennis, ordinary board gamer, just sitting there in the game, just there, blonde.
Oh yes, we killed him off anyway.
Spoiler alert. We may or may not have killed him off.
So we also have been playing a few games of Planted, because that's another one we got from Aircon. Our eldest loves playing that. So yeah.
It's a very straightforward take one. I split, you choose kind of situation thing. One, take a card, pass it on, whatever they call that.
Card drafting.
That's him, draft carding.
Yeah. So, yeah. If you saw Instagram recently, you would have seen me wearing my Shirts and Merch White Castle t-shirt. That's been worn a lot recently.
That's because Shirts and Merch are a sponsor of this very podcast. If you head to Shirts and Merch Etsy store, you can go to Games Night in style with some of the most comfortable, gorgeously designed t-shirts around. They wash, they don't fade, they keep their colour, they are environmentally friendly, ethically sourced and created
with love.
With love.
And the White Castle design is awesome.
The White Castle design is beautiful. I must admit, it's a very, very nice design.
I was even tempted the other day to wear it to work. Now, we're not really allowed to wear
clothes, nudity.
We have to wear like business wear or whatever. But actually, I thought it's such a nice design. You actually probably could get away with wearing it for lots of different occasions.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like some of them are a bit like, well, you'd have to wear them at a board game day or just around the house or whatever, or just when you're out shopping, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But I thought actually that's one design where I thought, oh yeah, actually.
We're let down a pub.
It's really
Go
pretty.
get me Stella while I'm in my string vest. Lads.
And at that point, everybody turned off.
No one's turned off now.
So yeah. That's what's been hitting our table.
Hey, bum. Yeah, it's been joyful. It's been joyful. I'm ready for the game.
Oh yes, the game.
The jamais. See, they never remember. She never remembers. I did. I say, oh, I need to play the game, and you go, no, I haven't got a game. I'm not ready.
I've got one.
Okay.
I had it ready.
Let me guess. Cards.
Right. First one?
Yeah.
Cards.
Oh, crap. So it's planted.
No.
Okay. Star Wars Unlimited.
No. You don't have multiple guesses.
Neither are you.
Right. Second word.
Yeah. Deck.
History.
History. No, it's not history. Cards and history. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Oh, I know what it is.
Do you?
Yeah. But I'm not allowed.
What is it?
I'm not allowed to say Caesar and Cleopatra.
No, it's not that.
Oh.
Boats.
Cards history boats. Cards history boats.
Yeah. Cards.
History.
Boats.
Imhotep.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
The next one would have been Quarry, and then the last one would have been Egypt. Got it in 3. You did.
Yes.
Got it in 3.
We're just always talking about Phil Walker Harding in this house.
And if you would like to play Imhotep, I'm sure they have it at Rent, Shuffle and Roll.
Okay. Why have we mentioned them?
Because they're also a sponsor.
Say what?
Didn't you know, Craig?
No.
Well, I hope you're going to lead into a nice ad now.
Okay, then. Hello. This is a nice ad.
Oh, it's like an M&S ad.
Yeah. It's not just any ad. This is an M&S ad. And for those people in other countries that don't know what an M&S ad is...
Are we going to get sued now because we've mentioned
Google it.
M&S?
No. M&S are not a sponsor of this podcast. But if you want to be, you want to send me some of them sweet pistachio Easter eggs,
or
that's Waitrose. Or send me some of them. I would advertise for Percy Pigs. I would 100% sell my soul for a Percy Pig. So if M&S is listening, because I know you really are, I will sell my soul.
No, but your phone will be mentioning Percy Pigs.
Advertising for Percy Pigs.
Anyway, Rent, Shuffle and Roll.
Hello. At Rent, Shuffle and Roll, you can get any board game you like within reason, as long as it's in their library. Rent, Shuffle and Roll are a board game rental service where you can rent board games and try board games before you buy board games. Why not save some space on your Kallax and rent board games with Rent, Shuffle and Roll? Head to www.rentshuffleandroll.co.uk and use code GITG50 for 50% off your first month's rental. That's code GITG50 for 50% off your first month's rental. Thank you, Rent, Shuffle and Roll, for being a sponsor of Get Into Games on Air.
Was that your sexy voice?
No. Do you want me to do my sexy voice?
Yeah.
Hello, come to Rent, Shuffle and Roll and rent board game from shelf. They'll send it in a box, and that box you can get, and it's got prepaid envelope thing. You put that thing on top of the box when you want to send that box back, and then they'll send you another box with more board games. And if you use the code G for goat, I for igloo, G for another goat. No, I didn't do that right. G for goat, I for India, T for tango, G for another goat, 50 for the number 50, then you'll get 50% off. You see what I did there? 50% off your first month's rental with Rent, Shuffle, and Roll. Let the good times roll by renting some Shuffle and Rolls.
Are you from the West Country now?
I've no idea where I'm from now, but I think everyone is... where you were worried that everyone was going to be turned off, I think now everyone is definitely turned on.
Maybe they're just realising how lucky they are that they don't live with you.
Oh, you wait till UKGE. It's just around the corner, and I'll be seeing you there in Hall 3.
Are you crazy?
I don't know what's happened here. And that, I think, is very important when it comes to the Spanish Armada.
Right.
Yeah, I thought I'd say that because then no one will realise that this has been edited in later.
Okay, that was like the most random thing to say.
It's a seamless transition, I think. Because we would have had some kind of ad, I'm sure. We did have some kind of... That was a great ad read.
You're just going to take that bit out.
Was that the best ad read I've ever ad read?
Maybe.
Good.
Okay.
We have a guest.
Yay!
Hooray! We do indeed. We have the wonderful Nikita from Atikin Games. Hello!
Hello. We've just been giggling at you a bit.
That's all right. That's all right. How have you been doing?
I'm all right. It's a very busy time, but I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. It must be very exciting to have a game launching very soon. The anticipation must be quite high.
It's actually mad. So this will be my 6th campaign, and it's the most nervous I've ever been for one.
Nice. Cool. Well, to get to know you a little bit better, Becky, of course, has written our quick fire questions ready for you. Are you ready for the test?
Yes, I'm scared. Okay. Be kind,
no worries.
Becky.
There's only 10 questions. It will be fine.
And we will be grading.
Okay.
Oh, good.
First one's easy. Player colour.
Oh, teal.
Ooh. Game of the moment.
Oh, I'm obsessed with the game I haven't played, which is the Last of Us board game that my friend got, and we opened it up and looked at it, and it's beautiful, but we haven't played it yet, but I'm obsessed with it.
Nice.
Cool. The oldest game you own.
Oh, I got told off for this the other day. It's a game called Buccaneer that I found at a car boot sale, and I've never played it, but it's definitely the oldest one in my collection.
We funnily enough, we played that, didn't we, when we went to a holiday house once?
Someone had it in their Airbnb. It was
actually quite good.
It's quite fun. Yeah, it's really good. Get it open.
Yeah, someone told me it's really good and told me off for not having actually played it yet.
Yeah, it's good.
Kickstarter or GameFound?
Kickstarter.
Theme first or mechanism first?
Mechanism.
Cool. Your best gaming experience?
So the first thing that comes to mind is when I took my first game, Try to Win, to a pub for people to play, and sorry, this isn't a very quick fire answer. They played my game, and they were a group of friends, and I was meeting them for the first time, And there was no question, did we enjoy that? Should we play it again? They just gathered up the cards, dealt them back out, and played again. And that is my hands down best gaming experience ever.
That's
Excellent.
awesome.
It was beautiful. That was the day I decided this was my job.
Someone in the board game world you'd most like to meet?
Oh. That's so difficult. The first person who came to mind was Elizabeth Hargraves.
Oh,
nice.
The designer of Wingspan.
Yeah.
She added me to her list of women in board games, and I'd love to meet her.
Oh, that's
awesome.
really cool. No, it's all right. You roll a dice 20. What number do you roll?
Would it be weird to say anything other than 20? I feel like I would roll a 1, but I'd want a 20.
Yeah. Although, if you were at Hachette stand at Aircon, you would have wanted to roll a 1 because then you would have got to get a board game for £1.
Yep, absolute bargain.
Really? Yeah. They did that? That's awesome.
Yeah, so they had an inflatable D20, and whatever you rolled, that was the price you paid for their sale stock, basically. It was good. It was really good.
That's such a cool idea. I'd be so scared to do that. I bet everyone would roll a 1 if I did that on my stand one year.
I mean, it might have been because they had an issue with the van and actually transporting stuff home, and they needed it gone. But still, it was a great offer.
Yeah, that's awesome.
If you were a game, what game would you be?
Oh, I think I'd be someone's early prototype.
Cool. Where do you get your inspiration from?
I think that's a difficult one. Because loads of different. So the first game I made was for my husband, and I've made a couple of games of him in mind. But my latest one is all full of fantasy and all the stuff that I've loved my whole life, like myth and legend and stuff like that. So my answer is my brain.
Nice. That's cool.
It's a very good answer.
Yeah, see, you survived. You survived. There were the 10 questions and you answered them all.
Thank you. I'll stop shaking now.
It was the quickest quickfire we've ever quickfired, I think.
Yeah, good. I wasn't sure how quickfire it needed to be.
It doesn't need to be that quick, really. There are no rules on this podcast?
Not for the guests. There are rules for you, but there are not rules for the guests.
Oh, sorry. Well, that was good. I think we've got to know you better, but we can all agree that we can dig deeper and find out even more about you. So why not introduce yourself to the lovely listener folk that listen in here intently to get into games on air. Introduce yourself and let everyone know who you are, what you're about, and what you do.
Okay, then. Hello, lovely listener folk. I'm Nikita. My company is Atikin Games. My background is in computer science and software design. And I did absolutely everything I could in uni to do game design elements as well. And I always thought I would code games one day. And then it turned out that I ended up doing tactile games, which I much prefer. I like all of my starting handwritten bits of paper as prototypes. I've got 5 published games, and my 6th one, Malus Hortus, is coming to Kickstarter on the 8th of April.
Cool. How did the name come about?
So, the name of the game or the name of Atikin Games?
Atikin. Yeah.
So Atikin is Nikita backwards.
Oh yeah, I've just noticed that. I get a cat because the logo is a cat with a dice, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's my cat captain, and it is actually an SVG I made of him. It probably could be a prettier logo, but it is him, so it's kind of beautiful to me. Did a whole photo shoot of him and everything, getting him to bat his toys, because obviously he does bat dice, but he wouldn't when I ask him to.
Seems about right.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
always just really interested in how people come up with the names for their companies and things. But now I can't unsee that now. But before I was like, well, where's that come from? Like, what's the relevance?
Well, a lot of people just assume my surname is Atkins, and they don't really see the 2 I's in it. So I've been called Nikita Atkins a few times.
Cool. So you've got quite a few games out. I see you've got one called Try to Win. Do you want to talk about that one?
Yeah. So Try to Win is a triathlon card game where you play as triathletes who are building your free skills in swimming, cycling, and running. And then you're all competing on a course that you've built together in cards. So you're kind of making a board game with your cards. I made it for my husband because he's a triathlete. And he convinced me that maybe my game was good enough to publish, and I did.
Is this the one that your friends wanted to keep playing?
Yes. So that was... once I decided I was making games, I filled up a notepad full of other game ideas, but I try and focus on one at a time. But that moment with those people, who are now my friends but weren't then, was when I decided that I would keep going and would keep making prototypes and trying to get my games out there.
Brilliant. And you've got one called Playful Pets, Cats and Dogs. What's that about?
Yeah, so that's it's actually 3 games in one, or you can get it as little mint tin games that are little board games where the boards are held together with magnets. So you make a proper little board. And they're all fetch and retrieve games, but in Feline Felonies, you are naughty cats going around town, picking up toys or other things cats believe to be toys, like scrunchies and stuff like that, and bringing them home. And you can there's a bit of take that, and you can try and steal from each other. And if you've stolen one, it's worth more points and stuff like that. And then the Canine Capers is dogs who believe they're solving the imagined capers going on in their little village. And that's a cooperative one. And you're picking up little things people might leave around town. So there's like a bit of duct tape or a bit of rope, bits of trash basically, but the dogs are picking them up, bringing them to Canine PD to solve the case.
Nice.
And then in Animal Alliance, you are a cat and dog team who live in the same house. The cats are still trying to steal them and bring them back to home, but the dog is trying to take them to Lost and Found like a good dog. And the tagline for that is they have very different morals, but a combined score at the end.
Nice. Cool. And then you've got Mini Memory Mischief.
Yeah, so that's my smallest game. It's in a tiny little tin, and it's just like a 2-player duel. And it's a very nerdy computer science theme, but you don't need to know anything about computer science for it to work. But I really enjoyed doing the pixel graphics for it. All you're trying to do is get letters in order on a memory stack, but you can mess with each other's memory stack. And once someone's filled their memory stack up, you just total points. But it's a really nice little get it out for 15 minutes in a pub and just play a tiny little game.
Cool. Yeah, I think there's a big market for small box games at the minute, and people taking them, like you said, down to the pub. And especially when you go to conventions, you want to try and fit as many games as you can into your bag. And I think there's a real market for those kind of games. They sound awesome, by the way. So you've got a new game coming out. Yes,
it's my favourite game. And I don't admit that often, but because I put so much into it. But it's called Malus Fortis, and it's all about this beautiful garden that lures you in during the day and then at night turns evil. And the game's played in 2 phases. So in the day, you play as nymphs, and you've all got different powers, and it's cooperative. So you're all trying to escape the garden. And during the day, you move, save critters, chat quite a lot about what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. And then at night, the flowers move and attack.
Nice. And I hear you've done all the artwork for this.
Yes. So I really enjoy it, but it has taken me a very long time to get all of the artwork in place. But yeah, I do everything on all of my games. So Atikin Games is just me.
Yes. That must take a lot of work.
Yeah, I think the main orchid piece of artwork took about 20 hours.
Wow. That's some dedication, of course.
But I think it might just be because I'm very slow at art.
No.
So what was the inspiration behind the game? Why Malus Hortus? Why that specific theme?
So I don't know where the original idea was. Literally, so all of my games, kind of the theme and mechanics have come to me at exactly the same time, except for the Playful Pets games. I wanted to do a certain mechanic, and then I thought cats and dogs is a nice theme. But everything else, they've kind of come together it's not separate in my brain. It's like, this is the game. And then I realized, oh yeah, and flowers is the theme and this stuff is the mechanics kind of thing. And I've developed it over the years, but the initial kind of lore for it, and that it's nymphs, and the idea is there's story cards that you get whenever you save a critter and every night, and they're all about the other things that have been drawn into this garden. And some of them are there's a will-o'-the-wisp, and there's other magical beings from any realm kind of thing. So all of the fantasy lore that's in my head is in this game. And so all of the nymph names are actual Greek nymph goddess names from a hell of a lot of research that I did.
Wow.
And there's a card that one of my previewers hates about a stereotypical troll who gets drawn into the garden like anyone else and just finds a bridge and gets under it and terrorizes people and just gets back to work.
That's brilliant.
But one of my previewers really hated it, but then so I was thinking of getting rid of it, and then in playtest people really loved it, so I couldn't get rid of it.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Not every bit of every game is going to suit everyone, is it? And that's what's great about board games in general.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, and I put a lot of extra story into it, so there's way more of each card than you need for a game. So there's a lot of replayability where you won't have heard stories before each time you play it.
That's cool.
Is the story element really important to you in sort of gameplay, like that telling of a story? Because that seems to be coming through in some of your other games as well. The idea that you're on a journey, you're kind of going, you're unraveling the story as you play. Is that purposeful? You enjoy that kind of a gameplay?
I think. Yeah, I really enjoy it. I think my other games, there's no real story in there for other people, but when I describe it, there's a story kind of thing. So I find I sell my games all year round online, but when I'm in person and I tell people, the ethos behind the games, and everyone loves the feline felonies being naughty cats and canine capers being good little dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
And then Malus Hortus is the first one where I've written story for it, which is really beautiful and nice that I've been able to do that, because I do love creative writing.
Yeah. It just when you were explaining your games, and I suppose that's what you're saying, is that I could hear that kind of, you thought about these are the characters, and whilst there's a game there, you don't need to necessarily know the story. It seems that comes through in all your games. There is a story to it that you've thought of, not necessarily that everyone's going to see, but yeah, That's really cool. So when is it coming to Kickstarter?
So it will be launching on April 8th at 12 midday GMT. Craig's going to be really lovely and do a little Instagram live with me, so I don't have to launch it on my own.
Yay!
Every other campaign, I sit there on my own in my office. My husband's at work. I'm on my own, and I just sit there nervously waiting for the time that I said that I would hit the button. And I thought, I saw someone else do a little live launch party, and it seemed like such a nicer thing to do.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm looking at the Kickstarter now, and it looks really cool. So the idea that you can get like the extra art prints, and I think I saw somewhere as a stretch goal, there's a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, I want to do a big piece of artwork that's all of the flowers in a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle, but that's only if people actually want it. So most of my campaigns, I get backers to vote on the order of the stretch goals, which is why there's nothing on there at the moment that says how much they'll cost to do and things like that.
Yeah.
Because I always want to make it, the people who are giving me their money to try and make this a reality, I think they should have some say in how it's improved and what things can be done.
Yeah, definitely.
And, other stretch goals, possibly things like a hardback book containing all the art and the lore and the short stories.
So I've got this idea for a short story that's kind of how Malus Hortus was created.
Yeah.
And I really want to write it, but I'm not putting all my effort into it unless it's something people want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But I think maybe, that's even if they don't want it on this, if you don't reach that stretch goal on the Kickstarter, if the game makes enough money that you can make it, then maybe it's something that people will want later down the line, or, as it gains traction. I think that sounds really exciting to be able to have the story behind it.
Yeah, I have a few friends who say they really want it and they want me to sign it. But that's, 3 people isn't really enough to do a print run for a book.
Yeah, but you got to start somewhere, haven't you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
it's the kind of game that...
Go on.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Carry on.
It's the kind of game that, like, I've already got an expansion in my head if people like it enough, and I've already got a couple other games that I think would be Malus Hortus themed.
Yeah.
So if people like it, I could do a lot with it.
So have you done lots of play testing and that kind of thing with it?
Oh yeah, endless play testing.
How's that been?
So although it will be my 6th game funded, it was actually my 2nd game I designed. So it's been around in concept since 2020.
Nice.
But again, because the art takes me a long time, other projects have been easier to get out quicker, which is good because it means I've had enough time to kind of build an audience, and people know that I can fulfill a Kickstarter campaign, which I think is this will be my most expensive game. So I want people to know that they can invest their money in me and I will fulfill on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And also, I'm guessing that you've been through the organising the shipping process and the manufacturing things. You've got some, it is a trustworthy, reliable source to get a game from, and that's really important. It's not the first one that you've created.
Yeah. I think I've only ever had one fulfill late as well, and it was 2020, and it was only a month late, which everyone said was amazing. So,
that's when you hear horror stories of like 3 years and I'm still waiting for it,
yeah, I don't know how that happens, but I'd be devastated if I had to make people wait that long.
Yeah. Yeah, and in 2020 as well, to get it always a month delayed, and we're in the middle of a pandemic. That's pretty impressive. That's not too bad, actually.
Yeah, I funded it the month before lockdown, so like the first lockdown. So just when I wanted to kind of get people pre-ordering after funding, everyone was sat at home going, I want a game to play. And I was like, I can't give you a game right now, but do you want to order one for in 6 months' time? Yeah. The answer was no.
So how much has the game changed from like your original ideas to, now in its almost ready form?
So I'd say I've built on, nothing's really changed, but I've built on things. So I was supposed to launch it in October 2023, and then I got COVID for 6 weeks, so I had to postpone it. And then I had a lot of family stuff, and then we tried to move house, which took over a year. So the silver lining to that is that some improvements have been made since then. So it's later than I wanted, but it's going to be a better game for it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really fascinated with the whole play test, and because we went to Aircon and for the first time we got involved in play testing events. We've never done that before, and now I'm kind of hooked. I'm loving seeing like the first kind of prototypes of a game, and then seeing it get to the point where it's like coming out onto the shelves. It's just so, it must be, as you're the designer, like it must be so rewarding to see the journey that it goes on, and then be like, I made this, like that's such a cool thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's beautiful being part of other people's journeys as well. Because I'm going to plug the Indie Tabletop newsletter now. I hope you don't mind. But each month I put together a digest of news from different indies, and I get to see them going, oh, I've got a rough idea for a game. And then over months and months of them telling us what's happening, they're like, it's on Kickstarter. It's funded on Kickstarter. And it's really nice because this is my full-time job, and I wouldn't say it's the best living in the world. So I know all of these indies, and I can't back every single game, and I can't own every single game, but I can support them by putting that together and trying to get people to read that, and making people aware that there are all of these beautiful indies out there doing what they can to make their games a reality.
So how do people sign up to this newsletter that you write?
So if you go on my website and on the menu, there should be a newsletter bit, and you should be able to either sign up through that or there's an archive there of 5 years of it, because it's been going for nearly 5 years now. Actually, no, that's a lie. We had our 5th anniversary. It's going to be 6 years in July, I think. And that's
cool.
The idea was, I saw all of these indies trying to build their own newsletter following, and then lots of them not really wanting to do a second game as well. And I thought, all of that wasted effort when we could all benefit from each other's networks.
Yeah.
So people do still build their own newsletter, but they can join mine and we all share it, and then hopefully more people read it.
Yeah, that's a really lovely thing to do. You are a woman of many talents. I did not know it was all this stuff.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Really cool.
That's really cool. Yeah, and people should definitely do the signing up to that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll put a link in the description
show note thing. Yeah,
show notes. That'd be great.
Be so professional.
And we'll put it on our Instagram socials as well.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously on your website you have your games, and then you have your other accessories and stuff like that. Did you want to mention a bit about all of those sort of things, like the tins or your player colour tins and that kind of thing?
So weirdly, the board game survival kits are the thing that people actually know me for. So I'll go to conventions and people will be like, "Oh, I've seen this on Etsy. Oh, I've seen this here," and beautifully, people have just come up and shown me that they do have their own one. So there's 15 colours available now.
I'm sorry, I'm scrolling and looking at all these things now for the first time. So there are things like tote bags you can get. You've got ornaments, key rings, jewellery, ice bags, bookmarks, apparel. Oh, there's bags, there's hats, there's belts. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How do you find the time?
I've always really liked... who knows? Who even knows?
Why don't I have this?
What I do is I escape... Pardon?
Sorry, I'm going to have an argument with Craig, because I've just seen the first thing that pops up. Well, no, it's not the first thing. It's the second thing, because it's got try to win at the top. And then it's got I play purple. Now I play purple.
Yeah.
Why haven't you got me this? Okay.
I think our guest was talking about things. Let's ignore.
Sorry, why isn't there a Becky Plays Purple?
Yeah.
I don't know. And that's all the time we've got. So thank you very much for listening. Whether this episode actually airs or
know
not.
Anything about that? You've been keeping that quiet.
I don't keep things quiet. I'm very loud.
It's Mother's Day. Oh yes, perfect plug. It's Mother's Day on Sunday. Listeners can go onto the website and then order mothers or me.
You want our listeners to order you?
No, I want you on behalf of the kids to order me, and I play purple.
Okay, sure, I'll do that.
There are gift cards. Just saying.
Excellent. No, it's really cool. So, how do you find the time to do all of this?
I think I've always really enjoyed making stuff, and I used to, as a hobby, try and do craft fairs, and because I like making a bit of everything, there was no overarching theme that kind of brought it all together and made people stick around to look. And then once I started making board games, I was like, oh, well, I'll crochet stuff for board games and I'll make jewelry with dice and meeples. And then everyone seems to want it now that it has a theme to it.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, we talked before you came on the podcast about you've got a couple of, are they conventions? So you're going to Paradise this weekend. You've got, what was the other one called that you said?
Shake, Battle and Roll. A lot of people still call it StabCon, which is what it used to be called, in Southampton. And there's a load of indies going to Paradise, so that will be really nice.
Nice. Are you going to UKG or anything like that?
I will be at UKG. I'm really nervous because I'm in a new location for the first time ever, and I'm scared no one will come and see me.
Where are you going to be?
So I will be in Hall 3A, stand 165. Okay. But the first time I did it, I just ended up in like this perfect spot with loads of thoroughfare and loads of people going fast. So every year I've just asked to keep the spot, and then they don't have Hall 1 this year, so I had to move.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
I'm sure it'll be fine, yeah. It's always like heaving at UKG anyway, so I'm sure there'll be lots of
every year, without a doubt, someone will message me on Monday and say, we came past, but you were busy.
Yeah.
So will you be demoing the new game there, or just selling the apparel and bits and pieces?
So I'm demoing this weekend for Shake, Battle and Roll and Paradise. At UKGE this year, I'm just going to focus on using the space to sell. Okay. Most of my other games sell by description anyway. I've only really been asked for a demo in order to get a sale once. So it's easy enough to kind of clear an area and show people how it would be played on my smaller games.
Cool. That sounds good.
Nice. Yeah. No, that's really cool. And hopefully people will come and see you at Paradise in Worthing and at Shake, Rattle and Roll, Battle and Roll. StabCon.
Shake, Rattle and Roll.
Shape.
That's not it.
That's what I didn't say. That you heard what I said. And the people on the internet heard what I said. ShakeCon.
No.
Changing everything.
You can't just... Right.
Aircon South.
No, this is becoming a bit of a thing. You can't just change the names of people's games, and you can't just change them to people's conventions. Okay. You don't have that authority.
Okay, that's fine. Good. Okay, so on the 8th of April, Angry Flowers and Fairies is out on Kickstarter, and.
It's a really lovely name, and you've gone with Angry Flowers and what?
Fairy.
Angry Flowers and Fairies.
Yeah.
Wow. Just wow. You won't end up with any friends doing this.
I beg to differ.
Angry Flowers and Fairies.
See? I think that's
Yeah, but now the problem is
that's the expansion.
if I ask you what the name of the game is, you will have forgotten, and all that's going through your head now is anger.
Yeah, pretty much. We always ask our guests for a board game menu. Do you have one for us?
I do. I made you an indie one.
Yay.
Nice.
All indie games. So I haven't mentioned this, but I've got a bad back. So at the beginning of the evening, I'll have my most energy for the day, which is why I would play Flick Fleet.
Nice.
Yeah, from Eurodisc Games. Really awesome game. Flicking dice around, trying to attack each other's ships. Really love it. My main is
Nice. Excellent. Yep. Nice.
I do love Molehill Meadows, but I now know what Craig's going to say.
I'm not going to refer to it as blind guy under the ground bumping into a rock. A blind thing underground bumping into rocks. I mean, it's
catching. Everybody knows. Everybody knows you call it feathered something. The gossip tree going round is going, do you know what Craig calls that game? Feathered something. And
I wasn't the one who put a massive great feather something sign on the massive banner at Aircon. I wasn't that one. I wasn't that person. That was someone else. And Lee, and I will not mention Lee's name in public.
Yeah. Well, I think it's very exciting times, and I can't wait to see how your Kickstarter does.
I am sure it will be excellent.
Looking forward to seeing all the stretch goals be met and this 1,000-piece jigsaw.
I'm looking forward to the book, the story of angry plants and fairies.
Okay.
Be good. Cool. So it's been wonderful having a chat with you this evening. Where can everybody find you if they want to follow you? On social media, not in real life. That's weird. Yay. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us and good luck with everything. And I'm sure we will have you back on the podcast in the future once the Kickstarter has been a fantastic success.
Maybe for the expansion.
Oh, for all of the expansions.
All of the expansions.
I'm excited. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And everybody must follow immediately or else I don't know what will happen.
And sign up to the indie newsletter.
That's what I said. Cool. Thank you so much. Bye. Well, that was a lovely chat, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah. So I would definitely recommend you check out Atikin Games' website, check out and follow their Kickstarter and get notified on all of that sort of thing.
And the
newsletter. Make sure you sign up for that as well. And make sure you're following me on Instagram because we will run that Kickstarter button pushing ceremony to launch Angry Flowers and Fairies.
You can't do this.
What do you mean?
To everything.
What? I'm confused.
You're going to get a name for yourself.
I thought
No, I got one of them. I got one of them like 21 years ago when I was born.
People will start calling you by some other name.
Most people do call me by some other name. It's not an unusual comment thing for me, so I don't mind. I've been called worse.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So, we would like people to like and subscribe.
Oh, yeah. Share.
Only leave good comments.
Share with a friend. Share, no bad, yeah. 5-star reviews.
Yeah.
And leave some comments. Write down on the comment bit on wherever you're listening to this your favourite player colour and what colour survival tin you'd have. And please remember to use the hashtag when you have finished and got this far. Use the hashtag
I survived Craig's podcast.
Hashtag I survived Craig's podcast. And then I'll know that you are one of the true heroes of this world. So yeah, don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, share. I've lost my voice.
I did myself a disservice then.
Why?
Because I called it Craig's podcast.
Yes. Okay.
I survived Craig on Becky and Craig's podcast.
No, I survived Craig on Becky's podcast.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so hashtag I survived Craig on Becky's podcast.
So now we'll know if they only write I survived Craig on Craig's podcast. We'll know they didn't listen to it all.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, caught them out there.
Yeah, caught you out there. Caught you out there with your feathers something, Christopher. Yeah, I know you're listening. I can see you. I'm watching you. Sorry, I went back into the sexy voice again.
Did you?
Yeah.
No one would know.
What?
No one would know.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, but I can guarantee when you stand up, you'll be sitting in a puddle.
Yuck. Right. Remember to... Oh, my gosh. He's gone. That's it. We've lost Craig. Remember that Becky's the best and Craig's the worst.
Remember to get into Angry Plants.
Remember to get
I like the way you say this. Always really say it really slowly, like you're like, and repeat after me. The little dog sat on the log. The little dog sat, like his dictation in school.
Remember to get into games.
Son of a... Please remember to get into the games. They are nice. So's this podcast. Toodaloo!